What's up, Commanders fans? So the media just be doing anything. They just be saying anything. So I read an article talking about Terry McLaurin, right? And they saying just because this man missed a voluntary workout that he's willing to leave, that he's willing to pack his stuff and go because he didn't go to a voluntary workout. All right, let's put it together. Let's think about this. Terry has been 1,000-yard receiver for the last 5 years straight. And in his first year had 900 yards. So for 6 years, he's been playing at a top level, a high level with terrible quarterbacks. 1 million people has threw him the ball, and he's still been able to make it to 1,000 yards. And this year, he finally gets a quarterback that he believes in that can get him to 1,000 yards, can get him his receptions, can get him 13 touchdowns. One of them was from Marcus Mariota. And this is the same person that closed out a game against a divisional team. And we're talking about against the Cowboys in the game. This guy is good in the red zone. He's good all over the field. And you telling me we're going to get rid of him? And he wants to leave when he finally finds somebody he has chemistry with, that he has trust in. And I don't know about y'all, but over the last few seasons, I have never seen Terry McLaurin so happy. Each and every play, each and every down, I said the same thing, but each and every season, throughout all these seasons, I've never seen Terry this happy. I'm talking about each and every picture that comes out. You see him smiling and everything. And then, I'm talking about last season. But this season, he gets somebody else in the locker room to help him. And we're talking about, we got Terry and Jaden on the second year of working together, knowing each other, and getting even better with the same quarterback. And then on top of that, you got somebody else in the locker room that can help you, which is Deebo Samuel. And you don't have to worry about all the pressure that you had on you last season. So not only will we see him get 100-yard games, we're going to see it even more. We're going to see him on an A.J. Brown level, even though, they're kind of similar when you add up the total amount of seasons that they had together. And, if you compare them, like A.J. Brown has had the same amount of 1,000-yard seasons as Terry McLaurin. So, and of course, he's had, way more in the 1,000-yard mark, like, 1,400-yard seasons. But when it boils down, he's had the same amount of 1,000-yard seasons as Terry. And what has been very beneficial to A.J. Brown's game? Coming here with Devontae Smith as your number one on the other side is perfect. It complements you well. It keeps people off of you. And they don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going to happen. And then you know what happened in the next season? They get Saquon Barkley, right? And they get Saquon Barkley. Of course, they got, before that, they had Devontae Smith. But, I said Devontae Smith. No. I meant DeAndre Swift. And he was phenomenal for their offense. But they had a lot of issues going into that season prior. And that kept them from going deep into the playoffs. But this season, they get Saquon Barkley. And you see what happens. And, of course, I'm all over the place with the seasons I'm talking about. But you know what I'm talking about if you watch football. But they get Saquon Barkley, and you see how they skyrocket. So not only do you have to worry about Devontae Smith, you got to worry about A.J. Brown. You got to worry about Jalen Hurts. You got to worry about Saquon Barkley. So imagine for us now, right? Our offensive line has gotten some help with Josh Connolly and Laramie Tunsil, right? And then you got Brandon Coleman, who did a phenomenal job as a rookie to me. And he's moving to another position. So now we got help on the offense. We got some guys like JCM, Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt back there. to help out the running back position and just to help out the running back room as a whole, to get them guys motivated, to get them guys feeling like their job is on the line. That's what they need. And you have guys like Brian Robinson come out and talk about, oh, keep the same energy. Okay, cool. That's what you need. You need a guy that's frustrated back there because he's going to go all out. He's going to give it his all to keep his position because he feels like his job is on the line. And this is the last year for him in his rookie contract. So it's time for him to get paid. And is he going to get paid? I don't know. I don't think so. But I don't know how they feel about him. It's all about how they feel. And of course, they still haven't they didn't get rid of him, seeing that it was so much so many talks about Brian Robinson being one of the top people to get traded before the draft or during the draft, and it didn't happen. So it shows that we do value him, and we see that he still is beneficial to this team going into the next season. And you see we built around him. We added some guys, and it wasn't too many guys, but JCM is one of those guys that's more athletic than him. Will he learn the system better than him, or will he catch on fast enough to get that RB1 position? I don't know. But we do still have Austin Eckler there, who is very athletic, gives the running back room a spark, and not just the running back room, but the receiving room, and also special teams. He's good at it. And, you got Jeremy McNichols, who's another Austin Eckler in a way. But we needed a spark in the running back room. And think about it. Out of all the guys there, this is somebody that Adam Peters brought in. His people brought in. Lance Newmark and them. This is the guy they believed in. If they were to draft someone, this is who they believed in. And if you think about our running back room, we got Chris Rodriguez, right? This is a guy that prior to this last season, what's his name? Our running back coach, offensive coach. Offensive coach. It was I can't think of his name no more. But Eric Bieniemy, that's what it is. This is a guy that Eric Bieniemy felt was good enough to be here, and we drafted him. And Jeremy McNichols, he came from another team, and I just feel like, and then Brian Robinson is a Ron Rivera pick, right? And they wasn't really good at picking first rounds, but when it came to them other rounds, they did a good job. They got us our safety. What's his name? Our safety who had 2 shoulder injuries, and I can't remember his name. Why can't I remember his name? He's back there with Will Harris now. Y'all know who I'm talking about, but I just can't think of his name. Why? But it's all good. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Just say it in the comments for me. Appreciate you, though. But he did a phenomenal job, and that was one of those picks from Ron Rivera. And he came from Illinois. And y'all know who I'm talking about. I just can't think of his name. That's crazy. And it's going to come to me. But Quan Martin. Sheesh. Quan Martin. And that's one of them picks that is very underestimated. And you see how when Ron Rivera had him, he didn't start. But when Dan Quinn got him, Joe Witt Jr. got him, he started a whole entire season. And we got rid of guys that I thought we would never get rid of, like Jahan Dotson. And it just showed that we understood how to, measure guys and understand, like, no homo. But, just understand how to evaluate guys. That's the word. And when you think about what we have on offense now, you got to feel confident that these guys can replicate everything they did even better next year. And, with us losing Olamide Zaccheaus and De'Ami Brown, we got that back with with Jalen Lane, and we feel confident, in this offense. And we got that back with Deebo Samuel. So I'm not really worried, because the things that we couldn't do with De'Ami Brown in the run game, when we tried to use him in the run game, we can do that with Deebo. The things that we couldn't do with Olamide Zaccheaus we can do with Jalen Lane. And that goes with using him on special teams, using him the same exact way we used Olamide Zaccheaus, So this offense flourishes with Terry McLaurin being there. And to have a team that you can believe in, and to think that we're going to decide to let him go or trade him, that would lose all faith in all fans that we have right now. And this whole organization and what they've built, the foundation would be crushed because our foundation is Terry. So the whole offense wouldn't even run well. Like what we had last season, Jaden Daniels having 3,500 yards, that would not be a thing. That would probably get crushed down to 2,000 yards. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be the same team that we were. So that would hurt us even more. We would honestly, I don't even see us making it to the playoffs. And how would that make Deebo Samuel feel? How would the morale of this team would go down? The Deebo Samuel wouldn't feel like he want to be there. Jaden Daniels wouldn't feel like he wants to be there. And majority of the other leaders that's in this offense wouldn't feel like they want to be there. Everybody would probably petition to not play unless Terry gets signed. So we all know Terry's going to get signed. That's not what this new regime has brought to the table. They haven't brought drama to our organization. They've done anything but that. Everything but that. They've got the drama away from this team. So let's not put fuel to the fire on this. And I've been seeing Terry in almost every practice. So I don't see any trouble in him getting signed. And Adam Peters has already made it known that he's going to pay this man. So there is no doubt in our mind. I think this is coming from outside media. And nobody in the Commanders camp really feels that way, but it's funny to talk about because it's like, what? No, bruh, stop it. That's dead immediately. Like, Terry is going to stay here. He's going to sign, and he feels inspired. Even think about the games when Terry didn't get the touches he wanted, when he felt like he was not doing his thing. I want to say it was the Falcons game, but Jaden Daniels was right there encouraging him. I haven't seen any quarterback that has come in that has encouraged Terry. It's always been the opposite. Terry has encouraged them. And to have Jaden Daniels being the age he is and being the guy he is and the rookie he was, coming in and taking the locker room by storm is just phenomenal. And to lift Terry, the guy who is the leader on this offense, lift him up means a lot. And I already know Terry's going to get at least a 4-year contract that's going to keep him here until he's like 32. And of course, probably can get rid of him at 31, and they probably going to pay him fully guaranteed money enough to pay him out until he's 31. But he's going to be playing here until 32 if they decide to leave him. Probably 31, 32-ish. But right now, I don't see Terry going anywhere lower than what he's been doing now in yards, in potential. Like, I think he's only going up. And I think he's still in his prime. I know age has a lot to do with it. But right now, this is another opportunity. And you want to invest in your quarterback and your wide receivers. You want to invest right now while Jaden Daniels is who he is, and while he still has a rookie contract, you want to invest in these guys. So by the time it's time to get Jaden Daniels his contract, by the time Terry is probably on his way out, you won't feel impacted by this. You won't feel like, damn, we don't have no wiggle room. So this is perfect timing. And like I said, he should be paid around what DK Metcalf got paid and what A.J. Brown has gotten paid. So he should be in that $30 million bracket. And that's without a doubt going to happen. And with what Terry has built over these years, it's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be here for a long time, and we need him. We do. And who outside of him are we committed to right now? Is it Luke McCaffrey? No. We haven't seen this potential in a long time from anybody. And it's hard to sit up here and say, okay, somebody can be consistent like Terry, can be reliable like Terry. Like, this is what you want in your locker room. And think about what we had last year. You want this in your locker room. And I guarantee we've gone up a few letter grades if we were to grade this team last year. And like I said, we went from a C to an A to me in the locker room, in the wide receiver room, in the offensive line room, in the running back room. Man, like, we've gone up. Defense, we know we still have some areas to, really, really affect and really change, like defensive end. We know we need that. I know that's going to be something heavy that we focus on in the draft coming up this season. But it all depends on how this Trey Hendrickson situation plays out for us next season, because after this season, that's going to be his last year. If they decide not to pay him, or if they decide not to put him on a franchise tag next season. But, we could also get guys that, it could be up in the air. It's really up in the air right now. I don't really want to move on too far into that year, but right now is what I want to focus on, because what we have is guys that want to fight, that have been here last year and got super far in their very first year, and nobody seen that coming. And I want to give all the credit to Jaden Daniels, and we got to give some of the credit to Dan Quinn, Adam Peters, Josh Harris for bringing in these guys, Lance Newmark, and then the guys that you don't even think about, like Joe Witt Jr., Darryl Tapp, and then think about what we have in our wide receiver room with Wes Welker, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got a guy that's proven to play at a high level when he was in the league. He knows how to be consistent, be reliable, and play this game hard. And play this game like it should be played. Can he coach? And can these guys listen to what he's saying and implement that into this season? I don't know. But Terry has not failed me yet. You know what I'm saying? So he has come in clutch every game, every season. And when them 1 games out of the season when he can't do his thing, I'm not worried. Because now we got somebody who can shake up the offense, like a Deebo Samuel. And then think about what Terry was able to do once he got his opportunity in the playoffs. Every game had a touchdown. Every game showed up. He didn't have any fumbles, even though we had so many in the last game of the playoffs for us against the Eagles. But Terry is always reliable. And throughout that season, he had 16 total touchdowns. And I'm just proud of what he's done, and I know it's going to happen. And let me know how y'all feel about Terry. Do you feel like he deserves it? Do you feel like he don't? Do you feel like this team could function without him? Which is crazy to even imagine or say. And like I said, the morale of this team wouldn't be the same if he wasn't here. So, one thing I forgot to tell y'all. I'm out.